once again we are back on Ek Bun Soch Ki Tea Talk with another episode with brand guru Mr. Jagdeep Kapoor, Chairman and Managing Director of Samshika Marketing Consultancy. Sir, in our first episode, the experience what we have seen right from your education to your first job, and after Voltas, can you please share some
Sure.
different experience to what you had in Voltas also and the other organizations?
So, with a good grounding on the market and sales exposure, and as area sales manager, and then I moved on with the second largest food company in the world, Kraft General Foods, which had a tie-up with the Kotaris. And at that point of time, I joined in and was offered and joined in as brand manager. And after sales management, moved to brand management. And in brand management, I was fortunate to deal with beverages, Kraft General Foods, which is now Kraft Heinz, and which also has taken over Mondelez, which is Cadbury. And you heard of Kraft cheese and everything. I was fortunate to be able to contribute to the brand building and launch of Tang, which is a famous brand, etc. And also they were worked with brands like Juicy, and which is the Indian version of Kool-Aid. So that was interesting. And thereafter, I moved on, and there was an offer from Warner Lambert, which is Warner Hindustan. And there, as group brand manager, I was handling brands like Halls, Listerine, Chiclets, Waterbury's, and that was very interesting, the OTC one. And then I went into the tobacco industry. I worked as deputy GM in the field of tobacco, which is golden tobacco, and a very strong brand called Panama and
GTC Industries.
GTC and Chancellor. But my longest stint was as director of Parle Agro, as the first employee and director of Parle Agro, and basically helped in the contribution and brand building of Fruity, Happy, Bailey, and that was interesting. And thereafter, I, after many years, moved on into the service industry and was senior vice president of Federal Express, FedEx. Blue Dart. Blue Dart FedEx was a collaboration. And then at the age of 34, I chucked it all and found a gap in the market and started the first brand marketing strategy consultancy in India. And I'll share my story about that as to what happened and how it happened. You see, it actually happened in a very interesting manner. I was invited by the Signum Institute of Management, and they were having a seminar at the Oberoi, which is the Trident now, in Nariman Point. And I was one of the keynote speakers there. So they had sent a car to my residence in the suburbs at Mumbai, and I had to go to Nariman Point, Mumbai. So the car with the chauffeur came in, and I have this habit after sitting in the car, and because they had invited me, they had sent the car to pick me up and drop me, etc. It was a hired car from one of the car rental agencies. And so the car came in, and I had to reach at 9:30. So I left at 7:30 early. The moment I sat in the car, I told the driver that, can you put on the AC and can you put on some music? So the driver replied that the AC is not working and the music is not working. So I got very, very upset, and I said, what is this nonsense? I'm not paying for it. The organizers are, but I mean, you guys from the car rental should have at least sent the same thing. They would be paying you the full thing, but this is... So after 5 minutes of getting upset, the driver is a smart fellow. He said, there's no point in you shouting at me. Why don't I do one thing? We have a lot of time. You have to reach at 9:30. I will take you to the owner of the car rental agency. You go and shout at him. So I said, this is very smart. So I shut up. He took me to South Bombay Simla House, and he took the car there, and then he called for the owner. Owner was a tall, handsome person. His name was Chandan Somaya, and he was, full into cars and car rentals. And then he came and he says, "Yeah, what happened?" And I told him my Dugbari Kani, and I was upset. And what nonsense are you doing? And this and that. He heard me very patiently, and then he says, "Do one thing. I'll change the car." So while I was talking to the owner, the driver went and changed the car with a proper AC music system, and he said, "At least your drive back will be comfortable." I said, "Fine." So by then, when the car had come back in 15 minutes, and I sat back and I wanted to go ahead, so this owner, Chandan Somaya, he looks at me and tells me, "Mr. Kapoor, can you give me consultancy as to how I should do marketing of my car rental agency?" So I started laughing. Right? I said, "What are you talking? Okay, now you've made a mess, correct it. You should have done this correctly, and you have not done it. And over and above that, you're asking, no, I have a job. I'm working and I don't..." So then he said, "No, I'm serious about it. And I'd like you to help me." And so that was what it was, and I let it pass. But every week he would call me up.
Okay.
And he would say that, "Please give me consultancy." Okay. Then during those days, I was anchoring a show. There are about 4 of us who were anchoring it, and I was anchoring a show. And you all also interviewed Bharat Dabulkar. Yeah, so Bharat would do one episode, Alec Padamsi would do another one. And the marketing episode of Dream Merchants and See were done by me. I would do the anchor. So at that point of time, while watching that show, another person who was basically into a brand called Sargam, giving these suparis and all that, he also started ringing me up. And he says, "Can you give me consultancy?" And he was very keen, and he would also ring up in the night and tell me. So I was working normally. Then I had moved from Parleys and I had gone to Senior Vice President FedEx, Blue Dart. Then one day, while we were on a holiday abroad, I got a call from, at that point of time, the company was called Telco, which is now Tata Motors.
Tata Motors, yeah.
So their HR department called up and said, "We want you to do a 2-day brand marketing workshop in Lonavala, Saturday, Sunday. We are launching a new brand of a car and all the vice presidents and GMs are going to come. So we want you to do that, etc." So I said, "See, I'm an employee, so I'll have to take my MD's permission. And I am Senior Vice President Marketing and Customer Service here, but I have to check up with them." So I asked my MD. MD said, "There's no problem. You can go ahead." And so then I asked Telco, I said, "Can I bring my family along to Lonavala?" He said, yeah. So we went, and now I do the strategy workshop in a different manner. I don't do it only in a room. So the first session, I got all of them to remove their clothes and jump into the pool, and did the whole session in the swimming pool as to how you block competition, how someone will block you, how do you launch the brand, etc. Next day, I did it with cricket and all. So I was quite enjoying myself and all. And thereafter, I spoke to the family and decided that I think I'm going to chuck away my job and start the first brand marketing strategy consultancy in India, because there's a lot of gap in the market. And I can contribute with so much of experience. I've worked in over 900 towns in India, 100 towns abroad, 2,000 villages. So there was substantial amount of exposure, experience, expertise, and across all elements of marketing, whether it be pricing, branding, advertising, positioning, segmentation, and sales, distribution, every element which was there, packaging, everything. So I remember resigning on the 4th of July, American Day of Independence. And because 14th of July, French was a little further away. 15th August would be further away. So, and after the 3 months notice period, I started the first brand marketing strategy consultancy in India. And there were many ad agencies, there were many PR agencies, but there was no one who was doing brand marketing strategy consultancy, 360 degrees for marketing, for brand marketing strategy. Then Business India, for which I write a regular column now, many years, wrote a small piece that for the first time, a practicing manager has thrown away his job and started a brand marketing strategy consultancy, the first one in India. It's a risky proposition, but he seems to have jumped. Because I was just 34. So a lot of people told me that don't do it now. You're having a cushy job and you might as well do it after you retire. So I said, after retirement, जोश नहीं होगा मेरे में तो if I want to do it, I want to do it now. And doesn't matter if I fail or I succeed, but a lot of people told me you will not succeed, you will fail. I went ahead and made the full attempt, etc. So in the first 3 months, I got about 7 clients, and some of them are still with me. Like Navneet Publications is a client which is there. Monjini's Cakes is another one.
Monjini's is also there.
Nirma was another one at that point of time. But interestingly, the first person who contacted me, the car guy, the name of his car rental agency was Kent Cars, Kent Cars. Right? And then I positioned him and marketed him, and it grew very well. Said, why rent a car? Rent a Kent. So Rent a Kent became a very big one, and based on that, and then the Sargam guy also joined in. So I had 7 clients in the first 3 months. So it was it's a good start. But I didn't have an office. So what do? I don't have the money to have an office, and I can't be calling people at home. So I started meeting for consultancy in lobbies of 5-star hotels. So I would meet at Leela, or I would meet at Taj and Sea Lounge. I would at various times, and that's how. Over a period of time, I was able to on rent take a 300 square feet place near Andheri station and start there, and people started coming across.
It was a great, interesting story of a brand guru, Jagdeep Kapoor. He started his career within Voltas and shared all his experience up to Parle. So when he was working, maybe what we have recollect the story of brand guru Jagdeep Kapoor, brand starts from home, its perception about brand all about. Every day we are exposed to all the relevant brands which are there. Many of us, normally we try and see we should be in a comfort zone, 9 to 5 job, But in case of brand guru Jagdeep Kapoor, when he started his first career also, it was, he started with sales, he had worked at the interior market, and he goes and visit around about 40 outlets till today.
Yes, every Saturday.
He spends up the outlets and getting in touch with the perception of the consumers and the retailers towards the product and services which are there. And getting out from the comfort zone and starting his own Samshika consultancy. We'll catch up with next episode with brand guru Jagdeep Kapoor on Samshika marketing consultancy journey. Thank you very much. Keep on watching TikTok, Ek Bund Soch Ki.